It is now 8:45. The American dream of owning a home is too expensive for a lot of people, but it doesn't have to be. And here's Steve Crowley to tell you how.
Tom and Lori Nardone have a special plan for having lots of money someday. They're buying 2 foreclosed houses a year. They'll fix them up and rent them out. Some they'll keep, some they'll sell at a profit. For example, last year they bought this 2-story house at about 30% off. A bank sold it to them, no money down. It's good Tom's handy. The property was run down and Tom fixed it up. There's rent money coming in right now, paying the mortgage. Tom says buying REO properties, that means real estate owned by the bank, is a smart way to buy. Many times you can just assume the mortgage.
Everything in real estate, most likely everything in real estate, is negotiable. I mean, even when banks are in a distressed situation, you know, if they're the ones who have written these notes on the money they've lent, you know, they've got the power to alter them.
So let's say you want to buy some foreclosure real estate. Where do you look to dig up the real bargains? Well, once you get into it, you'll find not every foreclosure deal is a good one. You do have to dig. And there are 4 basic places to find them. Look for local newspaper ads that announce foreclosure auctions. You might find a good deal here and a large crowd of bargain hunters. Another place to look, the classified ad section of your newspaper. Look for distressed sellers willing to sell cheap before they go to foreclosure. Then look to the banks. Ask local banks to add your name to the mailing list of foreclosed properties they own, the REO properties. And last, check the public record. Visit the clerk's office at City Hall. Look for bargains by checking out all the properties going into foreclosure. Be sure to check all the loans and liens that have to be paid off first. Well, this sounds like a lot of work, and sometimes it is, but the rewards can be fantastic. You might be able to buy your first home or investment properties at 10 to 50% below market value, often with little or no money down. Tom says we have to set our own guidelines, especially with down payments.
I try not to put more than 10% down on a particular property, which is a kind of a personal guideline that I use in looking at a property and judging whether it's you know, a worthwhile investment or not.
And I'll send you some free printed material on foreclosures. Just send me a self-addressed stamped envelope to Steve Crowley's Money Reports, P.O. Box 550, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 33302. And try to go to at least one foreclosure auction. There's a lot of action and you can learn something. Let's take one more look.
35, you really get $36,000 plan. I got 35, and everybody get 36, and everybody get 69, and 35,000, and everybody get 36,000.
Thank you, Steve. Coming up next, Audrey Meadows remembers Jackie Gleason right after this.
You want something in your bowl?
Tom and Lori Nardone are your typical young couple with a young child. Lori decided to stay at home. That meant 1 paycheck instead of 2 for a while. Their plan, to use rental real estate to build a family nest egg and to provide some income. Tom's the self-appointed tax expert in the family. He filled out his return, had it checked by a CPA, and found out he'd done a great job in spite of the new rules and regs. The verdict, the 4 rental properties the Nardones own all or part of are still a good shelter. Because their tax losses were less than $25,000, their income way under $100,000 a year. They're using real estate as their family savings plan, hoping for higher prices so they'll be able to sell them at a profit, even though they'll pay higher tax rates.
And what we're doing is really investing in real estate for the long haul. So I'm not really worried about turning properties over in immediate capital gains tax, because what I'm doing right now is really going to hold houses probably till they double in value, which generally only takes about 10 years.
Basically, even after tax reform, if you're looking to buy rental real estate, manage it yourself, and use it as a personal tax shelter, you should be okay. You can still depreciate the property, write it off over 27.5 years for residential property. So the rent you collect will be at least partially offset by that depreciation. Check with your accountant first. Not only that, once you learn about managing real estate, it can become the breadwinner. The Nardones are hoping that will be the case.
Our goal is that he can quit his 40-hour-a-week job, hopefully by 35 or 40, and be a full-time homemaker with me and raise our children together. That's basically our goal. And the material things would come along, but that's the first and foremost, to get him out of a job.
And all this is very smart. The Nardones started investing in real estate early in their 20s. They're making managing and building these properties a family affair, a solid road to financial independence and to cutting their income taxes over at least the next 10 years. All this real estate savvy may rub off on Nicholas Nardone, but by that time, I'm sure the tax laws will have changed many more times. I'm Steve Crowley with your Money Report. to be fewer